Trump said in January 2026, "I've kept all my promises and much more." PolitiFact is tracking 75 of his promises. Many remain undelivered. Here are 15 of the most specific ones: the promise, the documentary reality, and what lays underneath each one. The financial beneficiary of its failure. This is Odiofy. We do not look away. The promises, the record in order. The promise, the reality, the goal. Promise 1, and inflation on day 1. Household paid $2,120 more in 2025. Grocery prices hit record highs. Food prices rose fastest monthly rate since fall 2022. Trump told the crowds prices are way down. NYT. Elizabeth Warren's Senate report. Las Vegas, sun confirmed, still rising. While families paid $2,120 more, Trump's tariff revenue filled federal coffers and rewarded the donor class whose lobbying shaped the which goods got tariff exemptions. Promise number 2, cut grocery prices starting on day 1. Groceries up 3% year over year. Record highs in 2025. Bottom 20% of households absorbed $950 in additional inflation costs, over 5% of their entire income. Trump said prices are way down. They are not. Higher grocery prices concentrated costs on the poor while leaving the agricultural donor class protected through exemptions and subsidies buried in the one big beautiful bill. Promise number 3, cut electricity bills in half. Average U.S. household electricity bill was 6.7% more expensive in 2025. Households paid nearly $160 more across 2025 than 2024. Forbes, Guardian, and the EIA confirmed Trump's promise outcut them in half. Rolling back renewable energy subsidies handed market control back to fossil fuel utility whose executives funded the 2024 campaign. Promise number 4, no new wars, America first. Operation Epic Fury, February the 28th of 2026. Day 71 and counting. 3,400 dead, 338 children, 13 American soldiers, oil at $100 plus. Strait of Hormuz closed 70 days. Trump said it 3 times across 3 campaigns and no more wars. The Iran war transferred $5 billion per month to defense contractors, energy traders, and fossil fuel companies whose stock prices arose as oil spiked to 70%. Promise number 5, and the Ukraine war in 24 hours. CNN documented 53 separate instances of Trump saying he would end the Ukraine war in 24 hours or before taking office. The war is ongoing. PolitiFact confirmed broken. The Ukraine stalemate preserved the arms sales and kept the European NATO spending flowing through U.S. defense contractors. Promise number 6, Protect Medicare and Medicaid won't cut. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act cut $1 trillion from Medicaid. 10 million Americans losing coverage. Rural hospitals facing closure. Trump promised not to touch it. He bullied Republicans into passing the cut. The $1 trillion Medicaid cut funded tax cuts that benefited the top 1% of earners by an estimated $300 billion over 10 years. Promise 7, make healthcare more affordable. ACA subsidies at risk. 24 million enrolled, 22 million received the subsidies. Medical costs continued rising. Nearly 40% of Americans used the credit cards to pay for healthcare in 2025. Healthcare deregulation transferred pricing power to pharmaceutical and insurance companies whose PACs donated heavily to the 2024 campaign. Promise 8, tariffs will create manufacturing jobs. U.S. lost 98,000 manufacturing jobs in 2025, partly because of the tariffs themselves. Auto manufacturing and green energy jobs undermined the Hill. PolitiFact confirmed. While workers lost their jobs, Cantor Fitzgerald, Lutnick's son's firm, bet on tariff reversal and recorded $2.5 billion in revenue, a record year. Promise number 5, tariffs will be great for farmers. Bipartisan farming advocates warned the industry could collapse. Farmers squeezed by retaliatory tariffs from trade partners. NPR. American farmers are hurting. Trump's trade war is making it worse. While family farms struggled, large agribusiness corporations received exemptions and subsidies that small farmers did not qualify for. Promise 10. No tax on tips. So one big beautiful bill created a tips tax deduction with so many restrictions that PolitiFact rated it a partial broken promise. The deduction excludes most tipped workers. The narrow tips exemption was designed to poll well while delivering minimal actual relief, keeping the tax revenue intact for donor class cuts. Promise 11. Release all Epstein files completely and transparently. DOJ missed its own legal deadline. 16 files disappeared from the DOJ website after publication, including a Trump photograph. Maxwell interviewed by Trump's personal lawyer. Congress, 76% of Americans wanted full release, not fully released. Suppressing the Epstein files protects a network of donors, associates, and allies whose names appear in the unredacted materials. Promise 12. Mass deportations will lower housing costs. 8.3 million unauthorized immigrants held the jobs in the U.S., nearly 5% of the workforce. Mass deportations reduced the construction labor supply. Housing construction slowed. Housing costs did not fall. ICE killed 2 American citizens in Minneapolis. Construction slowdowns benefited existing real estate owners, including Trump's own property portfolio, whose values rise when new housing supply falls. Promise 13. And student loan debt burden. 2.6 million student loan borrowers defaulted in Trump's first year. More than 2/3 live in states Trump won in 2024. Payment pause ended. Collections resumed. Student debt collection generates fees for the servicer industry, whose executives have revolving door relationships with the Trump Education Department. Promise 14. Lower housing cost. Prices will come down fast. Housing prices did not come down. Mortgage rate hit their biggest single week spike in a year during the Iran war. Construction costs rose due to tariffs on lumber and steel. Trump's own real estate portfolio benefits from high housing prices and restricted new supply. The promise and the interest were always in opposite directions. Promise 15. Drain the swamp and corruption. Commerce Secretary confirmed as Epstein launched gas. Attorney General fired for defying Epstein subpoena. FBI Director polygraph staff to protect himself. Defense Secretary fired 12 generals. Trump sued journalists. Melania sued authors. Jared Kushner received $2 billion from Saudi Arabia 6 months after the first term ended. The swamp was not drained. It was refilled with people whose personal financial interests were aligned with the president's rather than the public's. 15 promises, 15 broken, 15 beneficiaries. Not one of them flows toward the working family that cast a vote. The bottom 20% of households paid $950 more in 2025 from inflation alone. That is over 5% of their entire annual income. The top 20% paid more in absolute dollars, but it represented 2% of their income. The promise was made to the many. When it broke, the cost fell on the poor. The benefit fell on the rich 15 times. It's not an accident. It is the architecture. Everything Trump touches turned to leverage for people closest to him. The voter was not the customer. The voter was the product. He said, "Have kept all my promises." $2,120 more per family in 2025. 3,400 dead in a war that was never supposed to happen. $1 trillion cut from Medicaid. 98,000 manufacturing jobs lost. The Epstein files not fully released. The swamp restocked with donors. He said he kept all his promises. 15 say otherwise. It depends on whose promises you were listening to. Subscribe to Odiofy.